and say yeah, and say yeah, and say yeah. One night in town, my niggas round, throwing money, them bitches hit the ground, then bring it back up, she bring it back up, put them in that black truck, so many hoes they lapped up, my niggas leaning.
Alright, today is September 9th, we're going to be going over open markets, patterns, and pre-markets for today. We're going to start top down with APLD as it starts. APLD ran last week. We look at the 4-hour charts. This thing was a day, kind of like an inside bar play over the 200. Should have been more obvious, but we did actually trade. Trade it, where we traded at? Trade it here off of this key level dip, and this thing just went straight up for the whole day. If we actually go ahead and look at both from last week, let's pull it up. Both had a similar pattern. Where did she? Is it there? Maybe it wasn't both. Damn, I forget which one it was. Maybe it was ASST.
Jack Harlow, the last
ASST?
Next up,
We're gonna figure it
most
out.
played songs from last year. YG leading off.
Let's see. Fuck, I can't find it. But it was a ticker that looked exactly like APLD. Fuck me. I had to find it at some point, but it did a slow push and then it grinded over top in a flag and it went. Anyways, let's get rid of ASST. BLMZ was also a multi-day runner. This one did the old bearish start and then held a support level. This is always a great trade. Thinkorswim was laggy as fuck today. Thanks again. This like seems to happen like almost every Monday now. Something to be aware of. But yeah, this candle right here would have been a great ad. Just missed it. I think I just I pieced out. I added here, and then the lag was like fucking 3-second delays on my ads, so I bounced out of this one. But this was a good little trade, and then just I don't know what the hell this was. I see this and I tend to stay away. It's just not for me. But up, down, fade. BNRG was also a multi-day one. This one faded off the rip with like no volume. I thought for sure this would be a dead thing. But she ended up breaking VWAP, and then nice little dip trade right there. A nice little push up to the gap level. I think the volume was kind of iffy, but it is what it is. Buru didn't do anything, I don't think, today. This is a fading penny stock. Of course it didn't do anything today. IMBS was starred on my sheet this morning for pushing flat into open and then also in between $1 and $3. This is in our 2 trade list. We kind of had this uptrend after the open. We tried to add here, and again the lag was insufferable, so we ended up getting out. Nice little grind, and after this push we added down here. We mistakenly kind of sold here because we thought we'd dip again into this and we were going to add heavy here, and it just kind of went. So note to self is kind of to re-add into a position. Don't kind of get rid of the whole thing. That's a MIB, but this was a good trend line dip add. It worked again. It worked the end of last week, so we're going to continue working this trend until this fails, kind of deal. But this kind of double top to me. We seen this last week as well, where they all push the same spot and they end up failing. AAPLD was the only one who actually kind of broke out last week. IVP was that was a multi-day runner that ran with Wheeler. No volume here, so I don't really give a shit. Cint went straight up and then was in the over $3 range. This one also did like the uptrend thing and then just kind of hit a certain spot and then just would never pass that. So that's something we need to add into these dips here and then sell into this. I actually got stopped out again. Today was just kind of a clusterfuck of just great entries and then just, I don't know, bad exits. I don't know what the deal was, but I think the lag really kind of threw me off today. Up, down, up, down, up, down, and then once it breaks this trend line, it fades. Summit was a like $20 stock. We're not going to pay attention to this too much. We're just going to kind of, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not even really going to get into it. Saida, no volume, but that was a multi-day one. Turn also failing at the 1 year. This one also, I'm assuming a higher float stock. I'm not going to take any of these patterns into consideration. TNXP was a penny stock. It did pull off the consolidation and rip in an asterisk because it didn't really rip, but it did provide a good little trade here. Basically a W pattern this time, so we've got to keep that in mind. Uptrend, breaks uptrend, and just fades. Versus was a multi-day that didn't do anything. Wheeler was a strong one that ran, kind of a flat day there. And Workhorse, to me, this is just something looking into tomorrow. I'm not considering it for today because even with this push, it had like no volume, so, or at least down in this area. So we're actually going to look at our PowerPoints. Let's switch over. And then let's make sure we have enough time. Nope. What am I doing? Alright. We're going to go over the bullish patterns. So downtrend, uptrend. This is a trend or pattern from end of last week. Usually this pattern is accompanied by this fading first, consolidating, and then pushing, and then hitting a trend line. So it kind of looks like this. And then here is like the supply, and it never breaks this. And then here's this uptrend. So two areas to add. We have this consolidation area, and we have this uptrend where we want to add on like the second dip. So this one actually never went down, but it did have this uptrend to it. So it's nice to see. One thing to note too is that once it breaks this trend line, it fails. We'll get to that in the bearish section. This is another version 2. We have this uptrend. Try and proactively get this uptrend into our charts as soon as possible, especially when we have more than 2 points. VWAP breakthrough. This is always the midday thing that we'll probably never really get, but I still want to note it. Did the previous high. This also did that. Bearish consolidation to go. What we just talked about. We have this kind of W pattern here on TNXP. We want to wait for this bearish, and I'm okay waiting a little bit to let it settle so we don't get fucking wicked out. Same here. Wait for the ignition, and if it waits again, you can re-add into it. One on EMA wave. This is to help me stay in a trade. Double bottom flag. Those seem to be later in the day now. They're not kind of early anymore. Dip to key level. Again, it's going to piss me off because I forget exactly what ticker it was, but literally we added because of that same pattern. We're going to look at the bearish. So when we do have this uptrend, once it breaks this down or this uptrend, all 3 stocks today faded off a cliff. So there's 1, there's 2. I mean, we had a backside bounce here, but it didn't do really anything. This one faded into oblivion as well. Double tops. I'm counting this as a double top. Anytime we have this kind of price action, just be aware of where this. It's more or less where is the supply on these type of plays. So here it was up here. Wherever that first push and reject is, that is the area where the kind of supply is. There it is for IMBS. This one's not really a supply one or like the earlier ones, but this is a true kind of double top with a pre-market high double top. Key level fail. Just be wary of where we are on the charts. Some daily levels. This is a gap level, daily level. If it starts to reject, just kind of beware. That is it for today. Today was a good day as far as patterns and predictability. The lag on Thinkorswim was dog shit again, better than it was before. But Charles is going to get the smackdown if this shit keeps happening. But peace.